Order! Order! You are an incorrigible delinquent at times. Behave yourself, man!
I've been going out with a girl, her name is Julie, but last night she said to me when we were watching telly.
4 minutes after 11. At least that's what employers tell me. Eh? They could all be wrong. Lee's in Bromley. Lee, what would you like to say?
Yeah, good morning, James.
Hello, mate.
You're an hard man to get through to, you are. Right. I can't understand why it's took us so long, but perhaps that's just politicians as a whole, because they all seem a bit slow, if you know. They're all probably privately educated. They probably want to go back and get a refund, because when it comes to common sense, they just ain't got any. So that's that out of the way. But I'm confused, as in immigration, even for Indigenous people, that you're paying out so much money for them, but they're only paying so much tax, national insurance. How can it be of a benefit? So if you just listen to this. So someone's earning £300 a week, he might get deducted £70 a week tax and national insurance, but he's got 2 kids. So he gets 30 quid back straight away in child benefit because he's got 2 kids. Then, because his money ain't that good, he probably gets £20 a week child tax credit. Yeah? So now we're £50 a week. All we're getting now is 20. Then 2 kids go to school. So even if you say £25 a week each, that's 50. We're now minus £25.
I think the figure is about 55% for people in Britain who are net takers from the economy, but the average for an EU migrant worker is that they're net contributors.
But, oh no, I'm not just talking like immigrants.
No, nor am I. 55% of the whole country, because you have to include pensioners as well once you start claiming your pension. So it's about 55% of us take out more than we put in.
Right. So how, like, as you said,
but EU migrants buck that trend because they're largely harder working and younger, so they're actually net contributors on average.
Yeah, but you still get the same benefit. That's part of EU law. They still get the same benefit.
That's what net contribution means. That's the number you're left with after you subtract what's taken out from what's put in.
Right, all right. That was just part of my confusion then. So fair.
Well, I'm glad to clear that up. What did you ring in to tell me?
But then also, we have got 1.5 million people unemployed. So surely it makes sense to get them working first. You know, you don't give them...
Well, hang on. That's a great point. I'm glad someone's finally made it. Matt's in Richmond. Matt, are you an employer?
I am indeed, yeah.
And what sort of role do EU workers... Stay where you are, Lee. What sort of role do EU workers play in your business?
Huge. Without them, I couldn't trade.
Well, why can't you just hire some of these 1.5 million unemployed people?
But a year and a half ago, when all this started kicking off, I've got 90% of my staff are Eastern European. And I thought, you know, we're going to lose a few, so let's start trying to employ some of our 1.5 million unemployed, or indeed, ignoring the unemployed for a minute, let's try and employ some of the employed British guys into the construction industry, into my business. Have I been able to find any who are actually any good? No.
Wait there. Lee, can you put Matt in touch with some of these people, do you think?
Well, I don't know what he's looking for. What sort of workers is he looking for? I don't know. I'm in the same boat. I could do with a lot of lorry drivers, but you can't get them.
Say that again?
Because the industry's been decimated.
Well, hang on a minute. You just said that the 1.5 million unemployed people should be doing the jobs, and now you're telling me you can't find people yourself.
Yeah, because who pays for the training?
Oh,
now,
Lee.
this fella's in building, so he's obviously looking for bricklayers and that.
Yeah, but you just said all of these migrant workers could be replaced by the 1.5 million unemployed people.
Have you not heard of apprenticeships? We don't do apprenticeships anymore. We used to do, but do you know what? When I was at school,
So who's going to do the jobs, Lee? Tomorrow?
Well, it's not happening tomorrow, is it?
Well, okay, March 2019 then. Who's going to do the jobs if we stop freedom of movement?
All right, but it's just not everyone's a brain surgeon, not everyone's a bricklayer. You're telling me the 700,000...
Who's going to do all the jobs if we stop freedom of movement? Who's going to work for Matt? Who's going to drive the trucks, Lee?
Well, at the moment, we're stuck, but part
So you've rung me up to tell me... Hang on a minute. Even by the standards of this programme, this is a bit special. You've rung me up to tell me that all of the jobs currently being done by European émigrés could be done by 1.5 million unemployed, and you've ended by telling me that you can't even find drivers for your own business.
Right. You see, you're not listening. This is what you do. You're very good. You're very clever.
Here we go. Now we'll talk about me for 5 minutes, because it's a lot more...
No, honestly, you're not that important.
Yeah,
right.
Come on then.
This has gone on for years, James. So we've had like 1.5, 2 million people unemployed for years. We're not just talking like, oh, we've only got 2 years to like get these jobs filled.
We've always had unemployment, Lee. It's as long as we've had jobs.
Right. So Blair opened the floodgates. Only 30, 40,000...
Hang on, what was unemployment in 1979? Lee?
No, I'm talking Blair. He was 97.
No, I'm talking pre-Blair, because you said he opened the floodgates. What was unemployment in 1979?
Off the top of my head, I was 8, so I don't really know.
All right. What was it in 1998?
Again, to be honest, I was working. I didn't really pay a lot of attention.
But then you can't use
But
it
it
as
must have been
evidence for an argument if you don't know, Lee.
Well, you can do. So,
All right, of course you can.
Right, so, no, just listen, and then you'll get my point.
That's
Right.
not certain.
Right, so Blair opened the floodgates back in 98, 2000, whenever it was.
Well,
We
when
had
was it?
unemployment.
You tell me, because it must have made a massive difference to your
I'll put a
life.
figure on it then. All right, no, 2000 then.
Right, was it 2000?
Just say, for instance.
No, you have to tell me when it was, because it made such a huge impact on your life. If you can't remember, then you're going to make yourself look a bit silly, Lee.
It don't really matter what year it is.
Okay. So it was massive, but you can't remember when it was.
No, I didn't say it was massive. You're putting words in my mouth.
Well, floodgates are pretty big. Floods are generally considered to be large quantities of water. Maybe I misunderstood you. Maybe a flood isn't a large quantity of water in Bromley.
Well, it was. It went from 40,000 to 700,000.
When?
But according to you, it had no effect on
Well,
anything.
no, when did that happen? And it had a huge effect on things. Matt, if it wasn't for European immigration, am I right in thinking you wouldn't be in business at all?
We would struggle without correct planning.
There you go, Lee. It had a massive impact. No one's saying it didn't have a massive impact. Matt wouldn't be in business if it wasn't for those floodgates opening.
Right. But perhaps when them floodgates did open, if we was training our own people back then, they'd be qualified now.
Yes.
We wouldn't need
Now you've made a
immigration
really
to
good
come.
point. So what we need is a time machine.
All right. So you're just twisting.
I'm not, Lee.
You're like,
I'm holding up a mirror,
really
mate.
good.
I'm holding
No,
up a
you're not.
mirror.
You're really good.
I'm holding up a
And
mirror.
again, because you do, honestly. You're
Look
very
in the
good at
mirror, Lee.
twisting. Okay. Oh, well, let's talk. All right.
Look
Just
in the
one
mirror,
thing I
Lee.
want to get at. Can I just get one thing out?
Nope.
All right. Fair enough.
Oh, go on then.
All right. Petrol prices.
No, I've changed my mind again. No, I haven't. No, you do it. Talk about petrol prices. Go on.
It'll take 2 minutes. Right. After Brexit, the next day, petrol prices went up. You was on the radio. I always listen to you, even though I want to punch you. But I think you're brilliant. But
I think threats of violence probably constitute a line, don't they, Lee?
That's just no. Don't take that as real. That's
Well, you've said it out loud in front of 814,000 people. I think you've lost the right to contribute to a sensible, grown-up discussion.
That's not what I meant.
What did you mean when you said you wanted to punch me?
That's just honestly, if I see it, I would not punch.
Well, what did you mean when you said it, Lee?
It's just because you're infuriating.
Well, no, what did you mean when you said you wanted to punch me?
Oh God, really? Honestly, can I just take that back then? Can you just accept an apology? I'm sorry I said that. I'll take that back. Obviously, I wouldn't do anything like that.
How do I know?
Just a figure of speech. Oh God, really? Can you just let me get my point out?
Well, you just threatened to punch me.
Seriously.
Yeah, you did, seriously.
Oh God, it's just.
Go on then, make your point about petrol, Lee.
Right, so you blamed Brexit for petrol prices.
No, I
going
didn't.
up. The very next day.
No, I didn't. That was
You
the
said,
fall in the
Brexit,
pound.
petrol
The
prices.
fall in the pound was responsible for petrol prices going up.
Okay, fine, but nothing to do with greedy oil companies. Because just listen to this point. You remember when it was all going down, and it went down to £1 a litre? Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So it went down, didn't it? But it weren't going down at the pump. So the AA, well, oh no, because like there's still the dear stuff in the pump. It's going to take a couple of weeks to get through. All right, fair enough. We all accepted that. So don't that work the other way? So just because the pan went down, the stuff that's still in the pumps should have been the same price, surely. But they just, oh no, because pan, we'll put it up. But you bought it and said, oh yeah, it's because the pan, because of Brexit, that's why it's gone up. So we're all going to have to pay more money for petrol. That should have took 2-3 weeks to go through.
Well,
Again.
So again, you're suggesting that it was 2 or 3 weeks difference.
Yeah, but you just blamed it straight on Brexit.
No,
When
I
it
didn't,
weren't,
Lee.
it's
I
all
explained
your
why the price of petrol,
all right.
if it's imported from overseas and is generally traded in dollars, then a fall in the pound will impact immediately on petrol pump prices. Do I think that petrol pumps? Do I think that petrol suppliers are also greedy? Yes, I do. They don't cancel each other out, Lee. Can I ask you a personal question? Can I ask you a personal question? I did, Lee. I did. I've explained it endlessly, but people sometimes don't hear. They only hear what they want to hear. When if someone says to you later today, what were you doing this morning? You say, I found that O'Brien bloke on the radio, and they say how did it go, mate? What are you going to say to them, just out of interest?
I got mugged up a bit. But that's what I said. You're really good at what you do.
Why mugged off? Why can't you just say, he explained some stuff to me, and I realised why I was wrong?
Yeah, but, you do...
Oh, and then I told him I wanted to hit him.
Oh, come on! I've already took that back.
You know,
Just a
I
bit of
don't.
respect.
In some circles, threats of violence are a little bit out of the ordinary. Thankfully, I'm used to it, Lee, but not everybody is. So, you know, watch your mouth next time.
But